Hey, everybody.
Yep.
It's Monday.
Yep. So we saw this one last night. It's pretty good. It's got my ex-girlfriend in it.
Which I think is probably the only reason you wanted to watch it. She doesn't have a huge part in it, but she's like in the first third of it, yeah.
Yeah, she played, her name's Marilyn Rice Cub. We went to high school together. And she was a good friend of me and fucking our little crew. You know, she's kind of like a proto-goth girl back in the day, back in Trenton. And she went off to drama school. She was in the same drama program I was in. Then she goes off to at the college level, and she ended up becoming a comedian for a while and been in a bunch of movies. And this is one of the ones that she did. And I was going to see it anyway because the guys that I subscribe to, like Nerd Erotic and Midnight's Edge and everything, said good things about this movie. It was being trashed like on Rotten Tomatoes by the professional critics, but the fucking audience was loving it. They were giving it like 90-something%, and then the critics were giving it like 40%, you know, just because, I guess because white guy stars in it, I guess. I don't fucking know, you know what I mean? They don't like
that wasn't why.
Well, they don't like Chris Pratt.
It was because the only criticism I saw of it was that they just thought that it was like derivative. They said it's pretty much just like Independence Day or Starship Troopers.
That's what
I know, but I'm just saying that's really the only criticism of it I saw. And most of the other even the reviews that were critical and saying that it was kind of like a ripoff or whatever, they all said, yeah, but Chris Pratt is really good in it and it's fun and shit like that.
Don't listen to them fucking professional critics. All right, them motherfuckers are too hard on good movies, and if it's like something that would please a general, you guys know how they are. You know how they are. If it's something that would please a general audience, then they got to poo-poo on it. Oh, it's not sophisticated, you know, whatever. Fuck them. It's a fucking good movie, man. I approve of it. It's kind of like you said, kind of like Independence Day, and also kind of like Starship Troopers, rolled up into one movie.
Although
time travel.
I think I liked this one better than either of those, to be honest with you.
I don't know.
Because I did not love Independence Day.
Independence Day I thought was mediocre. Even in those days I thought it was kind of mediocre.
Yeah, same.
But I liked Starship Troopers a lot.
Yeah, I like Starship Troopers better than Independence Day, but I think I like this one better than Starship.
Even though the guys who directed Starship Troopers were kind of goofing on it, I still fucking liked it. I read the book too, fucking, and I liked Heinlein. But you know, they didn't like Heinlein. You know, they would say he was fascist or some shit. It was just a future. I don't want to talk about. I'm getting sidetracked. Let's stay on this movie.
Yeah, you're getting sidetracked.
Getting sidetracked. That's what I do. I clown around and get
Gramthars Hammer says the volume is super low, but I haven't changed anything on it.
Well,
so I don't know what to tell you.
See what it says.
It says the same thing.
It says the same
what
thing.
did I just say? I said it's the same thing.
That's you, Gramthars. Is it low for everybody?
I mean, no one else said anything.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just maybe your volume's just low.
It's just him.
Did you try turning it off and turning it on again?
Yeah, Gramthars, he was in the same drama program with me at Trenton. He knows Mary Lynn. Mary Lynn was fucking awesome. She was fucking hilarious. But she plays a part in this called Nora. She didn't get top billing, but she's got a pretty big part in it. She's kind of like one of the side characters, like one of the more major side characters, you know. And it's a good movie. Takes place. Starts off, what was it, Christmas?
Christmas 2022.
Christmas 2022. And they were watching a soccer game, and all of a sudden it just whites out, and there's this big fucking dimension door opens up in the middle of the soccer field, and a bunch of soldiers run out, and they're saying, we're you from 30 years in the future. We're getting our asses kicked by aliens. We have to start drafting people from the past to come back to the future with us to help us fight because we're losing. And if we lose, then it's the end of fucking mankind. So they're taking people from 2022 that fit certain criteria, which you find out. They draft them, give them very little training, and send them to the fucking future to fight these aliens. And you don't know anything about the aliens. You don't really know much about them until the end. You see them. They're like an alien animal, but they're evidently intelligent, and they reproduce real fast. They look pretty good.
Yeah, I actually did quite like the creature design in this.
Yeah, they're
called
good.
white spikes.
Yeah, it's hard to do any kind of aliens that are original. I mean, everything's been thought up, and if you ask me, the Xenomorph's one of the best aliens ever fucking made. You know, it's
hard to top that.
Hard to top that. That one and the fucking Thing. You know? It's hard to top those aliens. So you have to come up with an original design that's believable, you know, and that is kind of. And the Predator was fucking awesome too. You know, how do you beat that? But they come close. Well, I don't say they come close. They do a good job at coming up with an alien.
I thought the faces of the white spikes were like really good, like really scary.
Yeah, they got 6 legs and
tentacles, and they can shoot spikes.
Yeah, out of their tentacles on the back, and the tentacles are like a tail too, but it's flat and ends in a little thing that can open up like a little 3-pronged,
like the Demigorgon from Stranger Things.
It can grow a poison spike in there and shoot it out, and they're real fast. They can run across the ceiling and everything. It's all CG, but it looks pretty good. It looked like it's just like a big budget kind of 10-pole action movie that you would normally see in Hollywood. Evidently, that's what it was supposed to be, but because of COVID, they just had to kind of sell it off at a bargain price.
It's Paramount, I think, and I think it was supposed to premiere last Christmas, December 2020, and then it got pushed back, and then it was gonna premiere in the theaters like this July, and then they said, well, we don't think it's gonna do as well in the theater, so they just Amazon Prime bought it for I think $200 million.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have Amazon Prime, you can see it for free.
Yeah.
If not, you got to pay to see it. It's worth seeing.
I thought it was quite entertaining.
Yep.
I mean, fun. I thought, well, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, I was expecting, big dumb action movies. So I'm just like, okay, that's cool with aliens. I can hang with that. But it actually wasn't as dumb as I thought. The nice thing about it was that, one, I liked the creature design. Chris Pratt was good. I liked him and like the interaction with his little daughter. Like that little girl was in it was great. And I liked that it had humor in it, but it wasn't like over the top stupid like zany humor.
Right.
It was a little more subtle.
What I liked about it is that it did have some individual, I would call them, concepts that were kind of gimmicky. But it wasn't too many of them. It didn't get bogged down. The whole time travel concept, that whole gimmick, I thought was great. And it wasn't overplayed that much. Sometimes there's too many goddamn gimmicks in the same movie. This one just used that one. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And it kept it more believable. When you start adding 7 or 8 fucking gimmicks all in the damn same movie, it's just... You have to keep these kind of movies simple. If not, the story starts bogging down. The whole thing is just to keep it rolling. And the edit was good. It just rolled along. You didn't really... It had a couple spots that were kind of slow, but they had to be there for kind of like intermissions in between big action scenes.
Yeah.
Like big battles and stuff that happened. You're going to see a lot of callbacks. A lot of callbacks to Alien, Predator, Independence Day, what was the one that I told you? Starship Troopers. There's a lot of callback. The movie knows what it is.
Yeah.
It's not trying to be something it is.
Yeah, it wasn't trying to be original or anything like that. It was just trying to be like a big, fun, scary action sci-fi movie.
It kind of was original, though, in a way. I mean, it borrowed a lot from other movies, but just the tone of it did have its own. I mean, it wasn't generic. No way.
And like I said, I did actually like this movie a lot better than I liked Independence Day.
It just stayed within the theme and the motif of this type of movie, and which is exactly the right thing to do.
And I liked the characters were likable.
Yeah.
They made everybody likable.
Everybody's likable, yeah.
You know what I mean? But and the humor was good, but not... because sometimes you see action movies and you can try, hi, I'm the comic relief character, and they're like all zany and wacky and everything.
Yeah.
It's like in this one, I think the humor was better because it came more from like situational.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like it was more like an outgrowth of people's personalities rather than, hey, I'm the stock funny guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't want to steal too much of the movie's thunder, but part of this whole time travel gimmick allows them to recruit very unlikely people for this. And because they can't be selective when it comes to recruitment, they also cannot be very hard when it comes to training. So they're basically just taking kind of average people and arming them and throwing them at fucking armies of aliens.
Yeah.
And that in itself causes a lot of fucking mayhem.
Yeah.
And the whole time travel fucking technology that they have doesn't really work that well. So there's a bunch of bad side effects.
That was another thing I liked about it too, was that everything was just, because everything had happened so quickly, like everything was just kind of like cadged together like at the last minute, which probably would be what really happened. So there's fuck ups, and it's like, and I like that. This isn't really spoiling anything. I like that it was like no one's fault, really.
Yeah.
It's just everybody was just trying to do the best they could do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it just like wasn't good enough.
Yeah, you got to take certain kinds of people between certain age brackets. I don't want to steal the movie's thunder, but there's no time to. They teach them how to operate a weapon and how to shoot, but there's no tactical training or unit training or anything like that.
Well, because they're in a time crunch. Yeah, they're just basically like, look, just go in there and like if you see that, it's just like shoot at them.
They're trying to recruit. They're recruiting large swaths of the population quickly and just throwing them into the future to fight these things, and it allows for a bunch of unlikely people in a combat situation getting fucked up. Some of them do pretty well. Some of them are veterans from other wars that do well. Other ones are just people that don't belong there.
Yeah.
They don't belong there at all. And which kind of added another element to it. You have people who are non-fighters trying to fight.
Yeah.
You know.
And like I said, some of the humor comes from that.
Right.
You know, but they don't overplay it, which I liked. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was more like, it's funny, but it's more like realistic. Like you throw these people into this situation that no one's ever been in before, and they don't really know what they're doing.
No, I don't know anything.
And you know what I mean? But they're trying, but they still can't really do it because they, you know what I mean?
It was the only way you could have scenes like that, where you have people that don't belong there, heavily armed, fighting aliens.
I mean, that one scene with like the one guy running down the steps shooting at the alien going shit, like all the way down. That like made me laugh really hard. Yeah. So I'm like, yep, that'd be me.
Right. There's one part where it kind of homages, I think, a video game, the one where the was one of the mercenaries, the Diamond Dogs. They were out there living on that damn oil platform.
Halo?
The other one. Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, right.
It's kind of like Metal Gear, where the time machines are on these oil platforms, these big oil rigs that they put it. They're pretty vast, and it's got its own defensive perimeters and a bunch of weapons. And in one scene, whole army hordes of these aliens are attacking it, and they can swim. You just got to see it. It's pretty cool. They can also glide.
Yeah.
They pull that out of their ass real quick too. They glide like a gliding squirrel or like a flying squirrel. It's all kinds of things that they can do.
Yeah, I mean the thing about like I really like this movie. Seemed like, I don't want to say it seemed like a throwback to like 80s or 90s action movies. It does have an element of that, but it still seems very much like a modern movie to me. You know what I mean? It seemed like visually, it was a good it seemed like it was a good combo of those two things. In terms of
just the way it looked and quality and everything and what kind of movie it is, in some ways it's kind of like those new Godzilla and King Kong movies. Where the scale is very large. You see really like big buildings and big battlefields, and then little guys are fighting it inside and outside, and jets and shit. It just seems kind of like one of the new Godzilla movies, kind of.
I like that they shot a lot of this on location and they didn't just do CGI in the backgrounds, because there's one part toward the end which takes place in like an Arctic sort of landscape.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like a lot of cheaper movies would have just like done all it in CGI, but they didn't. They actually shot that in Iceland, I think.
Yeah. And there's like a little bit of an homage to the Thing series going on there. They knew exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, like I said, they weren't trying to reinvent the wheel. They were just saying like things that worked from those types of movies.
Yeah.
Let's make just like a fun, entertaining sci-fi action movie that's lovingly tributing those.
And it's obvious that they saw those movies and they know that you saw those movies. So that's what they're doing. Which I think the director and the way the script was written and the way they executed, I think it was spot on. I think that was the best way to do it. This is one, had it been in the theater without all this bullshit that's happened recently, this would have done well in the theater.
I think it probably would have. Well, yeah. I guess they just weren't confident that there would be enough of a theater, enough people going to the theater to make the money back, so they just let Amazon have it.
I think it would have done about like what Skull Island did in the theater, about like that, which I think it did pretty good.
The director of this was actually the same guy that did the Lego Batman movie.
Okay, that was a good movie.
Which
that was fun. We saw that one.
Yeah.
That was fun.
So, I don't think he's done like a shit ton of other movies.
Actually,
but
we didn't see Lego Batman.
No, we didn't see Lego Batman.
Lego Batman was in a movie that we saw.
Yeah. But Lego Batman has his own movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen him.
We saw just the Lego movie. We saw the Lego movie in like the second part.
Yeah.
We saw those. I don't think I ever saw the Lego Batman movie, the solo Lego Batman movie. Although I heard it was like excellent. Some people have said it was like the best Batman movie ever made.
Maybe I gotta check them out.
I kind of do want to see it because I'm really entertained by those Lego movies. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, especially if you had a few drinks. You watch
that kind of is true of anything. Yeah. But yeah, see, I didn't even need a drink for this last night. The only thing I was gonna say, I thought it was slightly long, but now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think that really bothered me that much.
We were sitting at home, so it didn't matter that it was long.
Yeah. I think it's like 2 hours and 40 minutes or something like that, which isn't really that long.
Had we been in a theater sitting in somebody else's seats, I'm talking about in those damn upright seats, it probably would have been kind of a pain in the ass to be there in almost 3 hours. But at home, it plays well. I mean, you can pause it, go take a leak, whatever.
Because one thing that I thought was interesting was that there's a lot of really, really big, great, like, action set pieces, like battles and stuff with them, like, fighting the aliens, like, in all different, elements, different locations. And I thought that was really well done. There's, like, different missions they go on. And then it's interesting because there's one, and like I said, I'm not going to spoil it, but almost like the big climax part. And you kind of think that's the end. But then there's, like, a whole other sequence and, like, a whole other mission that they have to do.
Well, because it didn't come out in the theater, they weren't worried about the time. They know that you're going to pause it.
Well, and the thing, too, is that Avengers movies are fucking 3 hours long, so obviously that's not a detriment.
3 hours is fine for a movie that's streaming at home. And you can tell a more complete story, and people they're used to binging fucking these series anyway.
Well, yeah, shit, man. I mean?
So it's not as much of a hassle when you're at your own house. I think that's the way they're going to be from here on out, really. And I still want to rent the new Godzilla movie, but it's not up for rent, or I don't think yet. I think they're still selling it on digital download for fucking $40 last time. I'm not gonna pay you $40.
Well, you just gotta wait a few weeks, then it'll come down to like
I just want to rent it
$9.99 or something.
If I want to buy it, I don't want a digital copy. I want a fucking Blu-ray hard copy of that shit, man.
Gramthars Hammer said my kids love Lego Batman.
Yeah, have to check it out. What was funny is that when Jenny and I had that AMC, what was that program that we were on?
Yeah, Stubbs, yeah.
Yeah, on the Stubbs program, which was a good app on your phone, and you could see what movie you want to see. You could even reserve a seat, just walk in, and you could see 3 movies a week. Wasn't it 3?
Yeah.
3 movies a week, and it only cost you $20 a month. And that was a good deal.
That was totally worth it.
I liked it.
Yeah, I did too.
But we noticed that a lot of the movies sucked. I mean, a lot of the movies sucked. But the kids' movies tended to be better than a lot of the fucking adult movies. I mean, some of the adult movies were good, but remember when we saw like the Dr. Seuss movie? That was fun.
The Christmas one.
The Christmas one.
I actually kind of liked that.
Then they had that, like I said, there was a Legos movie, and then there was something about where they were all living inside a damn computer.
Ralph Breaks the Internet. That was Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Yeah.
You should probably see Wreck-It Ralph 1 because everybody thinks that one was like way better, like the first one.
And then, but the kids' movies tended to be more fun to watch.
And also, we saw Toy Story 4, which was also good.
And they had a bunch of like hidden jokes and innuendos in there because adults are fucking have written this thing, and they know they're trying to keep the parents from getting bored.
Yeah.
So they're fucking saying shit on the slick. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I got you. Like slight sexual innuendos every now and then. You're like, oh, okay, I got you, bro.
Well, I kind of feel like, that's kind of happening with kids' movies going back ages because, and for exactly that reason, adults are making these,
right?
And it's like you can't just
poke fun to the adult.
Yeah, you can't make shit for children your whole entire life when you're an adult, or you'll go insane. So you have to kind of put some shit in there. And plus, like you said, parents are taking their kids to see this stuff. So
yeah, you got to keep them happy too.
So you got to keep the parents happy too, so they're not just like sitting there with their brains turning to mush.
We saw an Addams Family too. Wasn't there an Addams Family? And
I didn't love that, but it was pretty good. I mean, for the Addams Family, I really, really liked the live action ones with Raul Julia and Angelica Houston, going back in the day. The animated one was okay. I liked that they went back to the original character designs from the cartoon, like from the from the comics.
Yeah.
I liked that, but I didn't. The story was a little. Yeah.
Another good kids movie that we saw was The House with the Clock in Its Walls. That was pretty good.
I was super excited to see that because that was easily my favorite book.
Had Jack Black
as a kid, and I had been wanting somebody to make a movie out of it for like fucking ages. Yeah, it was actually pretty close to the book. I mean, it was probably the best the best adaptation I could have hoped for.
I wanted to make a movie of Day of the Ness.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that before.
Yeah. Little kids trying to foil an alien invasion. All the aliens have been living underneath the ground for centuries, and they're emerging. They look like a rock with legs and shit. And then they had different classes of them, and they're trying to reconquer the earth. It's pretty good.
And a couple people are also recommending Despicable Me. I saw the first one, and the first one is excellent. I agree. But yeah, so I haven't seen any of the sequels though. Yeah, you might like that too, as far as like animated kids movies go. That's where the Minions come from. You know, the little yellow. That's where they came from. Despicable Me.
But no, I give the movie my approval.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was super entertaining.
Yeah, Gramthars says, does Mary Lynn kick some ass or she should just do the pouty face? Okay, look, Mary Lynn always had that damn pouty face, even going all the way back.
She does a lot of pouty face in this movie.
Yeah, and when she was a kid, she just would sit there with that fucking pout. She was cute as shit. She's still got a fucking cute little figure and everything. But yeah, I think she's got kids of her own now. But that's who she is. Even though she's playing another character, she's playing kind of like a tough kind of fucking trucker kind of fucking.
Yeah, what was going on with her hair in this movie?
Like, that's not how she actually looks.
Well, I know, but it's like it was just like really funny.
She's just trying to be kind of like just some random chick, just random, you know. And yeah, she kicks ass. She's got a fucking gun. She's fucking shooting. She goes out. She gets killed, but she goes out like a beast.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, she gets killed.
Yeah, she goes out like a G.
Yeah,
it's all right.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to mention, too, because we started watching this last night, and I said, I don't know, because I haven't finished watching it yet, because it's a series, and I didn't want to do, like, a whole review on it, because it's not a movie, but I did want to mention it. There used to be, he's still around. There's a guy that had a YouTube channel, right, and his name was Dame Drops. I don't know if you guys know who he is. Yeah. He started out reviewing fast food. He would just basically sit in his car in the parking lot of the fast food restaurant and would review, and he was funny as fucking shit. Yeah. And it's like, so we used to watch him all the time. So every time like a fast food restaurant like got a new sandwich or whatever, he would go and try it out, and then he would be sitting in his car like filming himself like eating it, and he's just like so funny. He got his own Netflix show.
Yeah.
And it's called Fresh, Fried, and Crispy.
Yeah, it's good on Netflix, yeah.
And each one, and the episodes are pretty short. They're only like 28 minutes or something. And each one he goes to a different city around the U.S. And then he goes to like 3 or 4 different restaurants, and each one and like tries out like their fried stuff and does his Dame Drops thing. Yeah. But yeah, so it's really, really good. So if you haven't watched it, it's really fun. He's just like, he seems like he would be a delightful person to hang out with.
Yeah, Gramthars, to answer your question, they all handed them out like AR-15s. They look like 11.5-inch barrel AR-15s with like furniture from the future on them, you know, plastic furniture, telescopic butt and all that. Fucking crazy optics, you know.
I wish I had a telescopic butt.
Yeah, right. Red dots on the top, and then fucking, you know what I mean, the whole sideways. Actually, it's a sideways illuminated fucking sights on the side and a fucking scope on the top and the light. You know how they do in the movies. They just put every fucking thing on the damn weapon.
Well, it looks cool. That's
yeah. You know. And they're 5.56, and they don't do much to these aliens. It's like I said. It's kind of like out of Starship Troopers. You can sit there and fucking empty a whole mag into them, and they're all right. You pretty much
have to blow their heads right off.
So I don't think 9mm do much to one. Although one guy who was like a veteran at it was using a shotgun. It looked like a Remington 870 pump shotgun. I think it might have been an automatic. I think it might have been an 1100. It might have been a semi-auto actually. But it was just old like police shotgun, and that was working a lot better on close range.
Yeah, you have to get kind of close, though. And you got to watch because they have those fucking...
Yeah, they got spikes and tentacles.
Spikes and tentacles. And I was led to assume, I wasn't sure if this was, like, super clear, but if you got hit by one of the spikes, that would what, like...
I assumed it was poison.
I thought it was poison.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because as soon as they got hit, they acted like they were a goner.
They're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
So much for me, then.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming that that's kind of like what the aliens would. They'd shoot you with the little spike, and then it would poison you, and then you go unconscious, and they drag you away.
I think they only had 2 of those spikes. Because I think they had to regrow.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about it.
It's not. It looks like a tail, but they also... That's a tail and a tentacle. Same thing. And it's got like a hand that opens up, and there's spikes in there. Yeah. They got a funny face. It looks like a skull. The face looks like General Grievous's face. And then,
I liked all the teeth sticking out. Yeah. I was into that.
Kind of looked like the alien dogs from Predators. They kind of looked like that.
Oh, yeah, they kind of did kind of look like that.
They were white, a lot bigger. And they had 6 legs.
Yeah, and like you said,
those dogs had 6 legs too on them, though.
Wait, did they? I can't remember.
Yeah.
How long has it been since I've seen Predators?
Gotta see that again.
Yeah, we have it, right?
Yeah, I have it.
All right. Well, I feel bad because a couple of people have just got here. But
yeah. You missed out. You have to watch it. You have to start from the beginning.
But yeah, this was totally much better than I expected, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I was expecting it to be like decent and entertaining, but I thought it was like really entertaining.
Yeah, it was like top shelf action movie.
Yeah, like I said, I think I definitely liked it better than Independence Day.
Yeah. I think the story was better. Although I liked the whole idea of the big alien ship,
That was cool, but...
You don't know anything about these aliens, but the final sequence of it, you start finding more about them.
Which, like I said, I liked that they resolved that, because that was one thing we were going through, because like I said, it's kind of a long movie, and as we're going through it, I'm just like, are we just going to find out, like, what is going on, like, where these aliens, like, came from, and what's... Because they didn't know. Like, the characters in the movie, nobody really knew.
Nobody knew.
So they had to kind of, like, figure it out as they went along, and I liked how they resolved that.
Yeah, they know when they appeared, but they don't know how they got here.
Right. Yeah, they just said they just seemed like they suddenly showed up someplace.
Yeah.
And then started taking over the earth because they eat people and they reproduce like really, really fast.
Yeah.
But they didn't. It was because we were saying this like pretty soon into the movie. We're like, well, these don't seem like the type of aliens that would have
a ship?
Technology or like a ship or anything. So I said, I wonder, are they going to like sort that out, or are they going to tell us, or they're just going to be like, I don't know, they just showed up here one day. We don't know.
They eventually tell you what to do.
But they do, yeah. You do find out like where they came from, and then like I said, I really like the way they resolved it. At the end.
And it's all real familiar when you see. You go, okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I mean. It's like I think that's kind of why some critics were like, oh, we're doing this again. But I was just kind of like, that didn't bother me though.
No,
it didn't bother me though.
They were giving the audience what they wanted.
And to be honest, there are only so many things you could, like a story like that. There are only so many avenues you can go down that sound plausible. You can't just start pulling stuff out of your ass because people just be like, no, that's not how that would work.
Right.
So, I mean, the reason that you keep seeing the same tropes over and over is because they work or people buy them. You know what I mean? So I didn't have any. I liked the way they sorted it out. I'm just saying. All right. So I guess we'll be back tomorrow talking about another movie. I'm not sure which one we're going to do. We'll find one. I have some ideas, but we'll watch one tonight and then we'll come back tomorrow and talk about it. So thanks everybody for dropping by, and we will see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Bye.